Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. In this lesson we are going to learn how to express the date in German. Before we do that, we're going to review the exciting ordinal numbers, the Ordinalzahlen. Remember that from the 1st to the 19th, you add TE to the corresponding cardinal number. Remember, cardinal numbers are the counting numbers. So, for example, 2, zwei, you add the TE and you get zweite, which would be the second. There are a few exceptions that you have to memorize, so let's take a look. So the first one, we're going to skip that because that's an exception. So here's the one I mentioned already, zwei. We add the TE and we have zweite, which means second. Third is also an exception, so we're going to skip that for a moment. Vier, we add the TE to 4 and we get fourth, vierte. Fifth, we start with fünf, the cardinal number, and then we add the TE to get the ordinal number, so we have fünfte, so the fifth. The first, you just have to memorize. It's erste. It still has the TE ending, but the part that goes before that is irregular, so erste, you just have to remember it. Erste means first. Third also has the TE, but the part that goes before the TE is dritt, so dritte, the third. So here we have our first 5 ordinal numbers. Erste, zweite, dritte, vierte, fünfte. So moving along, sixth. Remember 6 is sechs, and then you add the TE. We have sechste, the sixth. Seventh. This one is irregular. You just have to memorize it. Instead of sieben, we just use sieb. So siebte, seventh. Eighth is also irregular, achte. This is irregular because we're avoiding 2 T's here, so just ach instead of acht, and then the TE. To get the ninth, we start with the number 9 in German, and then add the TE, neunte. For the 10th, start with the number 10, zehn, and then add the TE, and you get zehnte. 11th, start with the number 11, elf, and then add the TE, elfte. 12th, zwölf, add the TE, zwölfte. 13th, start with 13, and then add the TE, dreizehnte. 14th, start with 14, vierzehn, and then add the TE, vierzehnte. 15th, start with 15, number 15, and then add the TE, fünfzehnte. 16th, sechzehn, sechzehnte. 17th, start with 17, siebzehn, siebzehnte. 18th, achtzehn, achtzehnte. 19th, start with 19, neunzehn, and then add the TE, neunzehnte. So that's the first through the 19th. The 20th and above, you add STE instead of TE. So STE to the cardinal or counting number. So for example, 20th, we start with the number 20, 20, and we add the STE. So we have the 20th, zwanzigste, zwanzigste. 21st, start with 21, einundzwanzig, add the STE, einundzwanzigste. 22nd, start with the cardinal number 22, 22, add your STE, zweiundzwanzigste, the 22nd. 23rd, start with the number 23, dreiundzwanzig, add your STE, dreiundzwanzigste. 24th, start with the number 24, vierundzwanzig, add the STE, vierundzwanzigste. 25th, start with the number 25, 25, add your STE, and there you have your ordinal number, 25th, 25. And so forth and so on. Just add STE to the cardinal number and you have your ordinal number. And so forth and so on, or etc. in German is und so weiter, and so further. This is usually abbreviated with USW. If you ever see that, it just means basically etc. in German. Okay, so now on to the months. So we need to know the months to be able to express the date. You need to put the months together with the ordinal number. So let's quickly look at the months, and then we'll put them all together with some examples. And then you'll be able to express the date in German. So let's start with January. You can see that this is pretty much straightforward. You basically have to memorize the months. There's no way around it. They look very similar to the months in English if you're an English speaker. Januar, Januar, Januar. February in German is Februar, Februar, Februar. March, März, März, März. April, April. Mai, Mai. Juni, Juni. Juli, Juli. August, August. September, September. Oktober, Oktober. November, November. December, December. Okay, so now the fun part. Now that you know ordinal numbers and you know months, let's put it all together. So the first thing is to ask the question, what is the date today, or what is today's date? In German you would say, der wievielte ist heute? Der wievielte ist heute? Literally, wievielte means how much. So the how much is today. That doesn't make too much sense literally in English, but you just have to know that this is the way that in German that you ask the question, what is the date today? Der wievielte ist heute? Der wievielte ist heute? Instead of the question, der wievielte ist heute, you can also ask the question, welches Datum ist heute? Or, welches Datum haben wir heute? So if I want to say today is the, there's a nice little formula here. And with what you already know, you can use this formula to say any date. If I want to say today is the, I would say heute ist der. Heute ist der. Then you just add the ordinal number and the month, and you've got it. So think about it for a second. See if you can say this. Today is the 5th of May. Today is the 5th of May. The first part is easy. It's right here. Heute ist der. So 5th would be, remember fünf and add the te, fünfte, and then the month, Mai. And that's it. Heute ist der 5. Mai. Today is the 5th of May. If I wanted to say today is January 15th, I would say heute ist der 15. Januar. Remember 15, 15, add the te, 15. If I want to say today is December the 2nd, heute ist der 2. Dezember, 2. Dezember, and that's it. You can do it. So let's look at some examples. Today is May 1st. Think about it for a second. How would you say it? Remember, first is something you have to memorize. It's kind of an irregular ordinal. Remember erste, and then Mai, put it together. Heute ist der 1. Mai. Heute ist der 1. Mai. Der wievielte ist heute? Heute ist der 1. Mai. If I want to say today is June 7th, heute ist der 7. Juni. Heute ist der 7. Juni. Today is January 28th. Heute ist der 28. Januar. Remember, 28, 8 und 20, literally 8 and 20. 28, add the ste, 28. Heute ist der 28. Januar. So remember, heute ist der plus the ordinal plus the month, and you can express any date in German. If you want to specify the day on which an event takes place, use the am before the date and add an n to the ordinal number. So if I want to say, for example, on July 7th, start with your am, and remember siebte, we add the n, and then the month, and that's it. So am 7. Juli, am 7. Juli, on the July the 7th. So let's practice with a few more examples. If I want to say on May 3rd, remember, start with your am, add the n to the ordinal, and then the month. So am, remember third is irregular, dritte, so you have to add the N. Am 3. Mai. Am 3. Mai. On January 5th, am 5. Add your N, 5. And then Januar. Am 5. Januar. On December 25th, am 25. Add your N, don't forget that. And then December. Am 25. Dezember. And there you have it. Am is also used with days of the week. So if you want to say something like on Monday, and Tuesday, or Wednesday, just use am. Am Montag. Am Dienstag. On Wednesday. Am Mittwoch. Congratulations. Ich gratuliere. Now you know how to express the date in German. You know how to make the ordinal numbers. You know the months, and you know how to express the date. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this lesson helpful, I would appreciate it very much if you'd give it a like. To continue learning and go on to another lesson, click on the video that appears here on your screen. See you soon. Bis bald.